All right, traders. What the hell's going on? All right, it's high. All right, good morning, everyone. It is now 8:31 Eastern time, 5:30 Western time. Who's out there? What's up, Josh? How's it going? So glad it's 8:30. Yep, it's a whole different world out here on the East Coast. All right, well, welcome. All right, guys. So, a lot of price action overnight. So, just kind of want to cover this a little bit quick. Don't know what's going to happen today. Good morning. What's up, James? How's it going? Welcome back. All right. So, oh man. Where to start? All right. There's a couple of things here that just came in the news that, all right. So let's start with, Binance. Binance has announced that they're going to start zero fees trading. All right. So that's one. So, again, so they're adding to the what the brokers have done, zero fees trading. So Coinbase is in trouble, right? I mean, but everybody loves Coinbase, so for whatever reason it's holding up. But I mean, they can barely get a wire straight, and they basically customer service is non-existent. Not to say that Binance is better, but then they charge exuberant amount of fees. So Binance is coming out the woodwork first, saying zero fees trading. So watch for Coinbase. It's probably can crater. If BTC comes down here, it can probably crater as well. Crater Coinbase. All right. So just know that. The markets are acting a little wonky right now. Don't know what is going on. Oil did drop to 103. So the market should be up based on that. So just things aren't really adding up because if oil goes down to about 100 and starts climbing, then the markets will crater more, right? Because it should be up. I would like to have seen the E-mini futures a little higher, but we'll see. Right now it's kind of flirting with that 3,700, and we will see. So let's just go into it. And as I go along, I'll go over the other news. So let's look at the E-minis from a different perspective. So the E-minis overnight action. There's the E-minis, a daily chart right here. The E-minis overnight, basically right now, they should have, and I mentioned this to my Patreon group yesterday in the video. We should have follow through, right? This candle should have been open above this previous day candle. I'll make this bigger for you guys. We should add this candle, at least start above. And the simple fact that it just kind of held that 3780, 3770, 3780 was kind of like the highs that we had yesterday. But we're opening lower than that. It's kind of telling me, okay, so this weekend we talked about the different forms of consolidation, and we're using this time frame for now. Although we are in a demand area, but the longer we stay down here, this demand area becomes at risk of being taken out. So ultimately, we do not want the price to remain down here. We want the demand to be significantly higher than the supply, and we wanted to kind of bounce and go higher. So this is why I'm said yesterday at the close to you guys that we need to see what this is going to form now. Oil is at 103, which it came down. It was as high as 109. So that's pretty bullish. And gas came down. So the E-mini should be gone up in that news, and we haven't. So I do know that Powell speaks today. He's testifying. Don't know what time he's going to testify. Usually comes around 10 o'clock Eastern time, maybe 11. But don't know what he's going to say. Is the market waiting on him? We also have GDP numbers coming out next Wednesday. And if those are down, we are going to crater. Okay. And there's a lot of suspicion that we're probably going to be a lot lower. And GDP is basically how America is a formula, how we are able to pay back our debt that we owe. So don't know. So I maybe just waiting on that. But we do have a lot of Fed governors speaking today. Also, if we pay attention to a lot of the companies like Apple, Katie Huberty, she's one of the she's the first analyst for Apple. You know, she's one of the biggest analysts. And she came out, and in her story, she came out and said that Apple is in trouble, right? That there's some storms that Apple needs to weather down the road. And that I think Kramer came out and said that Apple needs to announce that they're going to be in trouble. We look at Google, right? Google ad revenues have been down, right? And that news broke out last week that they're saying that in the month of May that their ad revenues, their search revenue has been down. People are not searching as much. That's not good for advertisements. And then you have Facebook, you know, Zuckerberg that mentioned that due to the fact that they're in transition, they're not going to make profit for or no revenue for the next 5 to 8 years. So again, you have Facebook who's announced saying no revenue for the last 5 to 8 years because they're in transition. So at the end of the day, if we read between the lines, I mean, they're not going to make any money. Why would you want to invest in a company that's not going to make any money for 5 to 8 years? So things you have to consider, but they took Facebook up. Now, the good news, if you're interested in watching Zuck, he is going to be on Kramer tonight, I believe. I think he's scheduled to be on there tonight on Mad Money after the market closes. So it'll be interesting to hear him say. But the market's being a little wonky. Nothing's really making sense. Things aren't really adding up as far as when you hear the news and the tape. So things that make you go, The other thing, too, is like Upstart, Affirm. These are all companies that basically, they have peer-to-peer lenders. They use an algorithm to lend people money, pay as you go, and pay pay never. Anyway, so these companies are basically supposed to be really good because in case there's a credit crunch or credit tightening, these companies are supposed to do well. But the problem is that the default rates are increasing, so people are not paying. So again, so what are they gonna do? And they already come out. And I'll show you in a minute what they look like. They've come out and they basically said that we'll handle that, because they're gonna be selling those bad loans off to other people. Interesting. What does that sound like? That sounds like another scam or fiasco of mortgage-backed securities that happened in 2008, where they sold off bad debt as good debt to other investors. And another fiasco. I mean, thank God it's at a much, much, much smaller scale, but it just doesn't end, So anyway, watch the companies that you invest in. Upstart, Affirm. I know a lot of people on social media, especially the TikTokers, they love those companies. I've been warning them about that business model that is like, borrow now and pay never. So again, and watch if you invest in those companies. All right, guys, so let's get to it. So right now, we just I gave the levels. We're back down to the lows before. Let me look at the E-minis here, overnight action. Overnight action, if we look at the hourlies, let me just zoom in here and look at the 1 minute chart. We are going down. Currently, we hit this high of 37.24. 37.30 was the line in the sand yesterday. So if you're watching it, if you're a member of the Patreon group, you got those levels. 37.30. I'll probably open it up on Wednesday so you can see on what I put out on Sunday, Monday. If you want to just join the Patreon group or just sign up, and it'll be open for you, but you have to be a member of Patreon. Now, basically, what are we doing here? 37.20, 37.04, 3700 needs to hold here. Let's see if it holds. Let's see if buyers come in. We had a steep decline here. 211 should be coming to the end, should be like absorbing this happened overnight at 732. The Asian market pretty much opened up a little lower, so it was 2 o'clock. We opened up here at 37.30 and then we closed at 4. So Asian market at 4 o'clock actually worked lower. It was lower, right? So are we going to get back all the gains yesterday? So 36.94 is where the Asian market was a low for today, and they closed right at 3,700. So can 3,700 hold? We'll see. On the 1 hour time frame, it looks like we broke zero, so we're giving this back. We broke the 50-day, broke zero, and it looks like it's probably closer to the end, maybe 3/4. Don't know yet, but it was supposed to curl then yesterday, and it kind of didn't. We are working our way lower. So if we break 3,700, more than likely we are going to retest these lows right here that we had yesterday. So right in this 3650. That's the levels I gave on the Patreon. So watch that. Don't know if we're gonna create it today, but if oil starts breaking, 110, we will crater. We will go to 3666 and 3650. So real quick. So we're just gonna be watching what the open reveals again. I'll be, things are gonna change in the next 50 minutes, because we have about another, 50 candlesticks here. But right now, it's just looks like this is a full swing. Let it drop, and let's see what the open brings. As far as the value area pre-market here, we're looking at 36.96 so far and 36.26, which is right around those levels. Point of control is right at 37.17. So right now, in the 15-minute time frame, still looks like it wants to work lower. Let's see what it does and consolidates. As far as the overall, E-minis, here is something that I was looking at. This is from the daily perspective, just the regular XPX, the NDX, and Russell. We should have got some follow through. That would have been nice. Could have ended and maybe climbed up. I would have liked to see us climbed into GDP. I hate to be down and then GDP numbers comes out, because then, it's a low probability type of trading, but then, it's all news related. So we're going to see what those numbers come out. It's much better. I would like to see them gone up, but you can't have it all the time your way. I would like to have seen this $3,900 fulfill, but we'll see what the open reveals. Okay. So right now, E-minis are 37.05. That means that this is going to be, excuse me. All right. And this is going to be at 37.15, right? We add 10 to it, so it's going to be at the bottom range. So we're pretty much giving back all of yesterday's rally. That's problematic. So if that's the case, we're probably going to stay in this range that I mentioned yesterday, right? We'll probably stay somewhere in this range here. All right, so we're probably going to stay in between this 37.80 and 36.50, right in there. Okay, so we'll see if we can break out of that range. But, as far as today, that's what I see. NASDAQ, probably weaker as well. Let me see where the NQs are at. Wow, where's the wrong computer? NQs are 11,376, so we're going to open up way lower. 11,376. Yeah, we're going to open up right in there. So we're closing that gap. Okay. All right, so we have that. All right, let's go into the overall XPX. Overall XPX, like I mentioned yesterday, this trades a lot less than the E-mini, so the E-mini is going to give you a heads up. So basically, at this moment of time, again, it's going to be option number 2. I gave both of them at the end of yesterday's close of the video with the levels of Patreon, and I said we'll probably have it really nice at the 50, and we're going to see if it's bouncing lower, and we are going to open up lower. We're at 37.05, so that's going to be 37.25. And that's going to put me right in here. So we're right below the where we opened yesterday. Does this get some legs, get some momentum? The MACDs are at 0. If this starts turning and you got the E-minis giving you charge away, then more likely this is probably going to head maybe down to 3,700 and then maybe down to these levels here of 36.38. Okay, that's where the lows were at yesterday. So again, we're going to see at the open, things can change. Again, the American market is the biggest opening. So it's the first hour, we call it IB. So again, just stay frosty and see which direction we're going to go in. As far as the VIX, let's look at the VIX, the measurement of fear. I didn't really do this yesterday, but guys should get in the habit of knowing the range of the VIX, right? I do this pretty much every day, but we open up a little bit. We're opening right now. We're opening up a little higher, so that's telling me that fear is coming into the marketplace. We got the MACDs rolling up, and if it starts breaking the 50, and you see we start going up to 33. So again, oil starts climbing. And if we break the pre-market day highs of 31, I'm just going to put an alert here to kind of give me extra confirmation of what the market's going to do. Then we could probably see fear entry into the marketplace, right? And then oil climbing maybe to 105, 108, fear entry into the marketplace, and then the market could collapse. Now, Powell is speaking, so what can Powell say that maybe can basically give some clarity to the markets? Well, let me see. If he says that we're not going to let the markets collapse, well, ironically, don't think that's the case, because they already mentioned that their main concern is inflation in the past, but he can say anything. Also, I put out a paper from the New York Fed, and they actually contradicted what Powell said. So if you read through it, they actually say that 80% chance of recession, and I think it was, I forget the percentage was, but it was basically Powell is wrong, and there's not going to be a soft landing. There's going to be a hard landing. There's a higher probability of a hard landing than a soft landing. So again, this is part of the Federal Reserve. There's 11 bodies, or 8 governors, I believe, and this is the governor from the New York region. So again, contradicting opposition. So again, we have the Treasury note that is coming down. So that's the opposite of TLT. And so Treasury notes are the yields, they go up, and then the notes, the TLT is the notes. And I usually hide them because I only watch one. But this is the TLT, guys. So this is the TLT. So what I mentioned on the page, these are the bonds, and these are selling off. Right, so these sell off, and this goes higher. Okay, so again, TLT right now is at 110, and this is what I mentioned before. I usually don't really I just focus right here. All right, as far as Bitcoin, again, taking everything in consideration, Bitcoin's in trouble. So MicroStrategy, if Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy goes down. Don't know what's going to happen here. But a way that you can, if you're worried about your Bitcoin, you can actually buy puts on MicroStrategy, MSTR. And because they own a lot of Bitcoin, this will probably go down. Remember, MicroStrategy, if I show you, before Bitcoin, these guys were not profitable. Michael Saylor, it seems like he's a genius, but in reality, his stock price was at $28, $30 before his purchasing of Bitcoin. So, he used that to prop up his stock, his company, but at the end of the day, his company's not worth $178,000, $800,000. So this is why there's there's two folds with MicroStrategy. One, he went on TV, pissing a lot of people off, including and talking. He's a smart individual, but then if you are leveraging on Bitcoin and you're over leveraging like he is, then you're gonna get smacked. So I think that there's a lot of people discussing over leveraging, and they're not mentioning names, but I believe they're talking about someone, Mr. MSTR, but we'll see. All right, so Bitcoin, but let's look at the monthly levels. There's no need looking at here. Monthly levels still, no, I'll look at there one. Let's look at monthly levels on Bitcoin. Like I said, consolidation probably in this area. MACD still is going down. If it can consolidate, hold here, then maybe there's a possibility. I don't know the level of leveraging, but somebody is going to get smacked right now. Ethereum is below the consolidation level. So Ethereum, it looks a lot weaker. So Ethereum, the next level down, we're looking at possibly 365 to about 102. Possibly in that range if it can't hold here, and it looks like it probably won't. So we'll see. And again, it's all GDP and everything I said about the XPX. There hasn't been a decoupling of these securities with the S&P 500. So the S&P goes down, then more than likely these are going to go down as well. All right, as far as the plays for today, we see the SPY here, 1 hour. Again, we got potentially 360, 350 on the downside. If this starts breaking down, E-minis, I use that one. And so if we start breaking down here, then that's probably what we can see. So again, if we eliminate one here, it's going to be 365, 360, 367, 368, and then probably, 355s to 360s maybe might be in a good price range. I will probably buy 2 weeks out, maybe 3 weeks out, because remember, we have a 4-day week today. Next week is a full week, and then the week after is a 4-day week. So just know that. It's those 1 days can really make a difference. But ideally, what I'm looking at is we're working our way lower. Let's look at see if we can find anything else. Let me put this back to Bitcoin. S&P 500, again, Google giving back all of his claims, 2,200. It can go back in this range. If it does, then we probably got the lows on 2,100, 2,116. Amazon, like I said, there was a call here that we saw move. That was a real quick play. Consolidating. It's having a hard time breaking above 108. Can it go back down to 102, right, to these levels here? So more likely, it looks like it probably will if the market is weak. Tesla, wow, that went the wrong way. Tesla below 700. I gave you a synopsis on this. I think that Tesla probably can fall back into this range again. Apple 130. If it breaks 130, watch out below on the S&P. Everything's working its way lower. CMG, if the market goes down, I think CMG is probably going to go down with it. I mean, the other theme that I've noticed too, I went grocery shopping. Everything that's not even on sale has gone up. Everything's gone up in price. And I don't know if it's a manufacturer raising prices or is a store raising prices. And I think that the plan is to get us used to these higher prices. And then when the sale comes on to say, oh, well, look, it's cheaper now. Well, like, can I give an example? Let's say a bag of chips costs $5. Nobody's buying them. They raise the price to $6. And then a few months go by, and then they go, oh, discounted price, $1, and it's back to $5. So just noticing a lot of price gouging happening across the board. Also noticing, like I said, I've been flying a lot, staying at different hotels. Hilton brands and Marriott's, the customer service is almost becoming non-existent, not to mention American. And I happen to be, an executive platinum with them for many, many years, over $1 million miler. Their customer service is like just be founded. It's not just them, it's Delta, it's just pretty much all of them. So it's interesting dynamics that we're kind of in at this moment of time. Against with CMG, and I'm telling you that because they're peritables, at some moment the consumer is going to be affected. I mean, I don't think there are just yet. I'm still noticing that a lot of individuals are still going on by their days, but at some moment, we are going to see a tightening happening, and what I see down the road is not good, right, so far. That's what I'm noticing. So we're going to be prepared for it. That's why I think that the market is not really bouncing at this moment of time. But again, I'm talking about down the road, maybe next quarter. I think that Q2 earnings are going to come out. We're going to see we're going to see their guidance. Again, CMG can probably work to the lows right here, about 1,200 from 1,260. Again, the chips are in trouble too, guys. Remember, the war is still going on, the lack of neon. They are probably around a 6-month supply. And now is the time that they would worry. Again, they can't make chips. They can't make chips. Then they can't sell the chips. They can't sell chips, the chips that belong in other things, and they can't sell those other items too. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what transpires. But as far as today, it looks like an Amazon's working its way lower. Again, a lot of selling pressure around that 108. Again, let's look at the E-minis. E-minis again, 3,700 holding so far. Let's see what happens. Things could change, and maybe we could get that bounce, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get it yet. Value areas so far. So this morning, just to let you know, the area of trading, the most trades that happened since the Asian market has been between 37.26 and 36.95. Point of control right now is 37.04. So we'll see if we can break beyond that level. So again, if we're looking to see if we can go higher, I would like to see price break above 37.25, which is also the 50-day moving average, and the MACDs will break above, and that will give me confirmation that we're probably going to go to the highs of the day of yesterday. Pretty simple. If we start breaking down here, then more than likely we're probably going to go to the lows. Okay. So that's the trade right there, guys. That's it. That's all I have. Trade accordingly. What do you mean by the 1 hour squeeze? What do you make of the 1 hour squeeze on E-minis? I don't see the squeeze. Oh, you're talking about this right here. Not really making anything of it yet. I'm kind of more concerned right here. So I think that 37.26 pre-market and 36.96 is what I'm looking at right now, and to see if we're gonna pop or go down. But pre-market, these are the levels that we're looking at, and then we'll go into the Patreon levels that you printed out yesterday. If this doesn't hold, MACDs will give you that. I'll have more information once my my other indicators that I look at, my market internals, come in. They should probably be logging in the next 4 minutes, and but I'll let you guys know in the chat. All right, guys, that's all we got. Just go out there, be frosty, wait, put your options up on board. I think we should have a move at some moment. Oil just dropped another $1. Now it's at 102. So I don't know how low oil's gonna go. If oil's gonna, I think oil, there's no need for it to pop. Let's see. Oh, okay. So oil. Oh, put the wrong ticker in. All right, one more time. Oil. So oil here, like crude, is dropping, right? So again, it's dropping. Oh, okay, it's dropping. So how low can it drop to? 198. Don't know why it's dropping, but I mean, the market should be up on this. It's not. All right, we'll see what happens. Maybe the American market will take it back up. All right, that's all we got. I'll see you guys in the chat if I see anything, but I gave you the structure on the E-minis, and that's it. Just hang tight, be frosty. All right, take care, guys. Take care.